Welcome to my review of the 900 Global Cove and the 900 Global Ember. Today we're looking at the new 900 Global Cove and comparing it to the 900 Global Ember. Both the Cove and the Ember share the same Magna AI core, but the Cove has the RB85 hybrid cover at 4000 grit, and the Ember has the RB82 pearl cover with power edge. 900 Global chose to release these two balls together as a 1-2 punch, start out with a smoother Cove, and then as the lanes transition, move over to the Ember. The 14-pound versions I'm throwing both have an RG of 2.50 and a differential of 0.043. Before we dive into performance, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We've just passed 600 subscribers, and I can't thank you all enough. Whether you've been here since the first video or just hopped on, I appreciate every single one of you. Now, let's head out to the lanes. We're back at Town & Country Lanes in Nitro, West Virginia, testing both these balls on the standard house shot. I'm bowling after a 4-person league just finished up, so I'm expecting the Ember to have a better look than the Cove due to all the games already bowled on this pair. Just a reminder that all shots have measurements provided by LaneTrax, an app for the iPhone. LaneTrax reports a number of different pieces of information about each shot, but in the interest of avoiding information overload, I've limited it to just a handful of the stats that LaneTrax provides. LaneTrax offers a 30-shot free trial to make sure it works well for you, then it's just $10 per month to have access to this data at your fingertips. It's a must-have for anyone who doesn't have access to Specto at their center. Use the link in the video description to get more information and sign up for LaneTrax. The Cove's slightly stronger hybrid Coverstock and 4000 grit surface give the Cove an earlier and rounder shape than the Ember. Personally, I think the 4000 grit surface is just a bit too high for me, at least on the conditions I was bowling on this night. I found myself throwing the Cove through the break point and it just couldn't go through the pins with such a late turn, leaving a series of 10 pins. I roughed up the surface with a well-used 1500 pad that I keep around for this purpose. The Cove gets into a roll earlier, goes through the pins much better, and even sounds better hitting the pins. A couple of things my longtime viewers may notice. Earlier this year I made some changes to the pitches in my fingers in an effort to move my track closer to the thumb. I hadn't remeasured my PAP since then, so I have updated my PAP, now 5 3/4 over and 1/2 up, a change from 5 1/8 over and 7/8 up. I've also updated my rev rate. The last time I measured was about 315, but that was a few years ago. After I started using LaneTrax, I noticed my average was closer to 280, which I measured and confirmed with 10-pin toolkit. You may also notice that I'm using a layout on the Cove and Ember that I typically don't use. Storm created a layout pairings page specifically for the Cove and Ember. Input your release speed and rev rate and it provides you with a layout. There are a lot more things that go into choosing a good layout, such as your tilt and rotation, the center's oil volume, pattern length, and the amount of friction. Your Pro Shop operator should be taking all these things into account when drilling up your ball, but I figured I'd give it a shot and see what the results were. It turns out it's not far from how I typically drill my symmetric balls up. Their recommendation was 4.5 by 4 by 2.5 compared to my normal 5 by 4 by 2. I don't expect to see much of a difference compared to my standard layout. I've been really looking forward to throwing the Cove. It's a beautiful ball and has some colors that we don't typically see in bowling balls. On a side note, the balls sit right next to each other on the shelf in the Pro Shop, and the Cove gets all, and I mean all, the attention. But during a recent matchmaker event, the Ember was one of the top rated balls by the attendees. I plan on keeping the Cove in my bag, but I'm definitely going to keep it at something other than box surface. Some more trial and error to find the exact surface I'm going to keep it at, but I'm probably going to use React-A-Scuff on it, which puts it at about 3,000. Our lanes at Town & Country are high friction, and the fresh oil has a ton of back end. The 3,000 surface should help tame the back ends on fresh oil. This does give me another opportunity to remind everyone, if you're finding that a ball isn't matching up to your game, please try some different surfaces on the ball before selling it to someone else. It drives me crazy when I see people selling balls on Facebook saying there's only 2 or 3 games, or even worse, less than a game on them. The box surface from the manufacturers are just a suggestion, and often to maximize shelf appeal. Gone are the days when you can change a ball's reaction by sticking a balance hole in the side of it, so the only way you can tweak a ball after it's been drilled is with surface changes, and it can make a huge difference. Moving on to the Ember. Because I've got LaneTrax running, I immediately noticed that the Ember's breakpoint was 2 to 3 feet earlier than the Cove was before I put the additional surface on it. I don't know what's going on with that, but now it makes a whole lot more sense why the Cove wasn't going through the pins properly. It was just sliding way too far down the lane. Even with the same drilling, the Power Edge finish gives the Ember additional length and a more responsive, sharper back end. Because these lanes were used for league and have so many games on them, this is the condition that the Ember was built for, and it tackles these conditions very well. It has a good amount of back end without feeling uncontrollable at all. I mentioned earlier that this was one of the most popular balls at our last matchmaker, precisely for this reason. It provides a lot of back end, it's forgiving, leak it a little bit right and it comes charging back. Pull it a little bit into the oil and it slides just long enough to still hit the pocket. Ironically, the Cove gets all the attention on the shelf in the pro shop, but the Ember got a ton of attention once people got to throw it. The Cove is earlier and smoother than the Ember, but everyone loves to see that angular motion on the back end. I can definitely see using the Ember and the Cove as a 1-2 punch, using the Cove on the fresh and the Ember after transition. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. New comparisons are coming soon. Huge thanks to Town & Country Lanes in Nitro, West Virginia for letting me shoot these videos, and to my partners, Storm for making the best balls in the game, Vice for the inserts and interchangeable thumbs I rely on, and Bowlifi for keeping me comfortable and looking good on the lanes. Visit your local Storm VIP Pro Shop to check out the latest from Storm, Rotogrip, and 900 Global. Until next time, keep chasing perfection, one frame at a time.